All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the one we've teased online. You've seen the poster, and here we go, sitting down with the newest member of the Halifax Thunderbirds. He's in Daytona Beach, Florida right now, Mr. Tyson Bell. Tyson, how's it going today, buddy?
Not bad, man. Thank you for having me.
Not a worry at all. Well, we want to kick this one off. We want to ask the simple question right here. We want to know, who is Tyson Bell, the person and the player? What can Halifax fans expect?
Well, as what I've been told and what I've kind of took the name under was just a nice, gritty, transitional player. It's always kind of been the playing style that I've played growing up. If you have the ball and I'm defending you, my job is to take the ball from you and get it down the floor. So, I'm excited to bring that grit factor into Halifax. The back end down there is it is what it is. You got Graham Hossack, you got Withers, Barkley. I'm just really excited to suit up with those guys and bring something back to Halifax.
No, definitely. Well, I got to ask the question. I asked this of all the guys. Why lacrosse? What drew you to the game and what makes you so passionate about it?
Well, long story short, I grew up actually playing hockey and baseball. Baseball due to my dad and his brother, and hockey, that's the Canadian kid's dream, right? Growing up playing it. I kind of fell short with hockey, didn't really take me anywhere. And then with my family member, Billy D. Smith, who is on the bench of Halifax, he introduced me, him and Mark Steinhaus introduced me to lacrosse, and was fortunate enough to get my first stick from Billy D. And hopped in a camp that they run throughout the summer back in Grimsby back home. And I kind of just took it from there.
Well, you're definitely a standout. You look through all the things that you've accomplished so far in your career, and just when you seem to get onto a team, it just gravitates to a new level. So obviously you got that it factor about you. And you were talking about, if you're defending someone, you're getting that ball and you're not allowing them to transition down the floor. For you, what drew you to the D position? What made you want to be that guy that's rugged and physical and takes the ball away and does all that, strips guys? What drew you to that spot in the game?
I think just growing up, that was kind of my role. I was kind of a shorter kid back then when I was playing the minor, and coach just kind of threw me back out the DN, but then realized that I could kind of play both when I would take the ball away from some players and transition it down the floor. So with the years kind of coming on to me now and kind of taking that vet role in the NLL, I hope to obviously graduate and get better and take, the younger guys that are coming on the team under my wing and show them that, hey, if you grew up playing just defense, there might be another side to it. Just kind of like I've always said to myself and what I've been told is just trust the process and good things will come.
No, the key words there, trust the process. In Halifax, they're definitely trusting that process. Well, I want to walk back to your draft year. Obviously, in 2015, you go in the second round to the Roughnecks. You declare that you want to be in the draft. Did you know that you were getting drafted? Did you know you're going second round? Was anything told to you beforehand, or was that all something that was completely excitement, just presented to you as it happened?
It was like you just said, presented me as it happened. I went to the combine in Oakville at the track, talked to maybe 8 teams that were in the NLL, and one of them that I hadn't talked to being Calgary. So come draft night, I'm sitting there waiting for my name, just patiently waiting for my name to be called. And like I said, I never got to talk to Calgary during those interviews at the end of the combine. So it was kind of like a surprise to me when they did pick me up. And, it's a true blessing for that because, I put my time in there and I ended up winning a championship, which is one of the best things ever. And like I said, just very thankful for that opportunity. And
Well, walk us through playing for Calgary. Obviously, one of the league's perennial teams, obviously near the top, really good squad. You got to be a part of the 2019 championship team, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But talk to us about Calgary and what it's like to play in Calgary, the fans, and what it means to everyone for that team. Because you'll see when you get here, but lacrosse here in Halifax, it was huge and it meant a lot to a lot of people. and it was something for us to latch onto outside of hockey and the Mooseheads. So I'm wondering for you, what was the impact of the Roughnecks, and for you, what was the impact of the fans going back, the reciprocal effect?
Calgary, obviously, you see how it is. It's not just a hockey town, but it's a sports town. You got the CFL team, you got the Calgary Hitmen, you got the Calgary Flames. I absolutely loved it there. I lived there my 5 years. I played there. I lived there. You know, it's just a great sports town, and the fans there, couldn't have thanked them anymore. Great support. Even just in warm-up, showing up and seeing how many fans are there watching you, wanting to wear your jersey, wearing t-shirts, whatnot. It is a special feeling. And I've only heard nothing but great things in Halifax, and very looking forward to that.
No, it's definitely going to be a good time having you up here. And yeah, the fans in Calgary are obviously rabid. I mean, I've watched a lot of lacrosse myself. I used to live in Toronto and watch the Toronto Rock. So I'm very familiar with the rabid fan base. But go back to 2019, winning that championship, what is it like being a part of one of those games where, basically you're in the championship game, you can win it that night, but then you go to overtime. Are you gripping the stick a little bit more? Is it a little bit more
Very.
intense?
I definitely started to sweat a little more than I already do. And we had sold out the crowd. Like, it was pretty cool to see, and a very, very humbling experience to be a part of that. And yeah, going to Buffalo for game one, kind of putting up some numbers there. It was crazy to think, because Buffalo was the best team during the season. And then, we come back to Calgary, and yeah, like you said, I gripped the stick a little too tight going into overtime. Like, okay, this is it. If we win, we're the champions. That's what you want. But Reese Dutch, what a beauty.
That
He
was
he,
no,
he
I
saved.
literally just watched it again just to be refreshed on it just before we jumped on. What is that emotion like though? You see that go in. What like give us the course of it. Like this is your heart's pounding, obviously you see it go in, but is it just everything goes off and it's a melee from there, just excitement?
Everything goes off. The helmet gets thrown. Sticks go in the air. Something like you've always dreamed of as a kid, winning a championship. And
Yeah.
winning a championship in the NLL, I think, is a very hard thing to do. And there's players that have put their time in, and they haven't had that opportunity to win a championship. So with me playing in Calgary for those years and being able to win a championship, it's definitely a feeling that never goes away, and it's something that I want to chase, and I want to chase again coming into Halifax, because I know, as everyone says, there's unfinished business. And I don't know. I think Halifax would definitely enjoy a championship. Absolutely.
No, we definitely would. And we'll talk more about the Thunderbirds here in a moment. I want to ask one last question about the Roughnecks. Now, going into next season, being a part of the Thunderbirds now, is there someone you're looking forward to going up against if you get the opportunity to play Calgary? Is there someone you're a little excited to maybe mix it up with and have a little fun with on the floor?
Absolutely. The whole team. It was a family-based team. We were all best friends. There was no cliques. There was no groups. Nothing. We were all on the same page. But definitely, if there was one player that I would love to play against, would be Dixon. He's been one of the best players in the world, one of my favorite players in the world, and a great guy on and off the floor, means well. But yeah, he'd definitely be one player I would like to stick it to, because we did put our time together in Calgary, and he was one of my good friends. And being one of the best players in the world, I would definitely like to shut that down and prove myself a little bit more.
Well, that's going to be fun to watch. I can't wait to see that one, and we'll have to highlight that when that game comes up, do a little video about it. Make sure to put
Absolutely.
this out there as a little bulletin board material for you. Just staple it down. But,
Absolutely.
bring us to last year. Obviously, the draft going down. Did you know that you might be being shopped or being traded? Was that something that was, presented to you? Say, hey, Tyson, we might be looking to move you, go in a different direction here. Or was that something just caught you off guard and they called you up?
It was about a 50-50. I knew that there was a possibility, but then I wasn't really banking on it. I didn't want to have to move. Obviously, just because I love the team.
Yep.
It was a great team. I was welcomed very very well when I first started there, and coming off a championship, you don't really want to leave the team. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it literally came down to the draft where, yes, you could, but then no, you couldn't. But then there was other problems that had to be kind of dealt with, and yeah, I like I said, very thankful for the opportunity. And yeah, when Micah Kersey called me and Billy D called me saying, "Hey, welcome to the Halifax Thunderbirds," I couldn't have been any more happier. Knowing I'm going to a great organization and a great team, and looking for a championship here coming up.
So was that the first person you spoke with from the Thunderbirds after you knew you were getting traded? Was that Micah Kersey?
It was Billy D. He called me, and I'm sitting there on my iPad watching the draft, and first thing he says was, "What's up, cuz? Welcome to the Halifax Thunderbirds." And I said, "What?" He goes, "Yup, we got you." I was like, "Okay, let's go then." And
Well,
shortly after, Kersey called me and basically said the same thing, welcomed me, and yeah, it's great.
so do you know Kersey's nickname then?
I probably should, being a St. Kitts boy, but I do not. And
No
I'm sure
mercy, a Kersey.
it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I learned that from the first time. He said, look it up and just make sure you keep that in the back of your mind. So it was cool to hear that you got Billy D, and then you had, of course, Micah Kersey give you a call. What was the first thing when you found out you're going to Halifax? Obviously, everybody looks it up, what's in town, what goes around here. What was the first thing you looked up and found about Halifax?
Well, I have some family that live out there, not too far away from the rink. So, yeah, obviously, I wasn't very familiar with Halifax, but just the town. I like being around the water, and I know that it's right there.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend's best friend actually works at a bar right across the street. So we hopped on FaceTime with her, and we were kind of getting the lowdown from her, and she literally said nothing but great things about the town.
Well, I know you're going to be an instant hit here. Obviously, we love our rugged guys. You look at the track record. If you look back at the Mooseheads, anybody who was a fist thrower or a guy who laid big hits or played on that gritty side of things,
Mhm.
definitely a fan favorite around here. You look at the Halifax Thunderbirds. They come into the NLL. They have a great presentation. They set everything up right their first season. We're doing really well. From an outsider point of view, before you obviously joined this team, what did you think of the Halifax Thunderbirds and the way they're presenting themselves and obviously taking the league a little bit by storm actually on that winning streak?
It was, that COVID year. They were easily the best team in the league, and I remember them coming to Calgary, and they put some numbers on us, and I said this team is going to be legit, and sure enough, it kind of shows, right? They got a hell of a squad, hell of a staff, and I'm just blessed for this opportunity because I just think I'm like, only good things can come from here, and yeah, December 4th cannot come any sooner.
No, it feels like it's an eternity away. And I mean, we're in the midst
I,
of summer talking about playing winter ball right now in
yeah,
December. But I know that everybody here, and especially a lot of people I've spoke with within the Thunderbirds, are very excited to see you and Haas on the floor. Have you spoken with them yet? Have you guys talked at all about what potentially might be going on that back end?
well, a little bit. Obviously, I play against them here in the PLL, and we had a nice little Vegas trip a little bit ago, so we were kind of getting the lowdown on things and how things kind of worked, and he was saying nothing but great things to me and about me, and yeah, what a guy to kind of have on your side, being the defensive player of the year for how many years.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just can't wait to play with him, suit up with him, and take some things away from him to make myself better and to make the team better.
No, definitely. And another player, obviously, that's key to all of that is Jake Withers. Wiz. Obviously, if a Kersey was on this call, he'd be talking to us about how he needs to get him off more video games. For you, are you a
He does
guy
love,
that? What's that?
he does love the video games.
Oh
I've
yeah,
seen it
Wiz is in
firsthand.
that. So for you, are you a guy that's more on the training side of things and more focused, when the season's going on, or are you a little bit on the hey, we need to take a break when we're away from the floor sometimes?
I think I'm about to take a break from the floor, get level headed. Um, and yeah, just get right. You don't want to go into a weekend overthinking things. That's usually when things kind of go downhill. I've kind of learned that firsthand. I've just always thought like, oh, I should have done this, should have done this. Well, it's done. Put it behind you, and then look forward. What's next? I know one of the main sayings back in Calgary was, "What's next? Look forward." Not what's in the rearview mirror, but what's in the front. And um, obviously, I've learned from great coaches, and they've led me to great paths. And yeah,
Yeah, I mean, well, you can't make an impact on what is done, but you can always change what is to become. And
absolutely.
that's a great saying to look back. Not look back in the mirror. What's coming before you, and before you guys this season for the Thunderbirds is huge expectations. And even around here now, you still see all the gear. You still see people wearing Thunderbirds t-shirts, jerseys. You see it all over the city. Everybody's excited. I mean, I just drove by the Chevy Camaro that's all done up in Thunderbirds colors today. So it's still huge out here. For you coming into, the unfinished business, the inaugural season 2.0, whatever you want to dub it this season, is there any heightened expectations on yourself? And obviously this squad, we want to see them win and what they were capable of. And to a man, everyone I spoke to last season when they were playing said we hadn't even seen the best of the team. So now you guys have only improved, adding yourself and the likes of others as well. So now the squad's going to be even more and the expectations are higher. But what do you place on yourself going into a season? And what can we expect from the rest of the Thunderbirds going forward as well?
I just gonna bring what I have to the table, obviously. From day one, from training camp. That's literally when it starts, is training camp. Um, Obviously everybody knows what I'm capable of, and they're gonna expect that for as long as I play for the Halifax Thunderbirds. I'm giving it my all. And yeah, the main goal here for the team is to bring that championship to Halifax. I don't think there are really anything that can beat that. Just kind of show up, do your role, man up, and obviously just bring your A game, because the season goes by very quick, and with all the upcoming players and expansion teams like that, guys are going to be gone, and that's like a very hard thing to be a part of. Obviously, with doing that with Calgary, but like I said, with the expansion, you lose guys kind of every year. You lose a couple guys, you use a goalie, so year by year, you just take it as it is, and yeah, just championship mentality. That's what I have in the back of my mind.
No, no. Well, this team definitely has the pedigree to do that. And you spoke about expansion. How does it feel for players within this league to see the league grow to Halifax, to Texas, to Vegas? All these different teams coming in, and some pretty notable owners as well. Obviously, adding a little influx into the league of cash and stuff like that. Then signing the TV deal now with TSN as well. So obviously now they're the rights holder. There'll be more games being broadcast, be able to be seen further across all the country and obviously the U.S. as well. What does that mean to players to see that growth taking place within the NL?
I think it's just all positive. You know what I'm saying? Like, getting that TV deal with TSN, I think, is a huge thing for Canada, because I think more people need to not know about lacrosse, but I think they need to watch it more.
Yeah.
It Not a lot of people, I don't think, know about it, and I think they should. It's our national sport in the summertime, other than hockey. But with the expansion, like you mentioned, I think players really do like that. One, hopefully we can get longer seasons, and more games. So, but it also is a tough thing, because, like I had mentioned before, you do lose players, and being on a very solid team, and then having to have a great season, and then at the end of the season having to lose, whether it be 2, 3 players or a goalie, that can go a long way. And it kind of is amongst yourself to how you want to deal with that. But I know with myself and what I had to kind of go through, it was tough. So I do know what it feels like, but it's just positive vibes from here on out. And I know I'm with a great team and a great organization. And I'm just very, like I keep saying, I'm just looking forward to December 4th because my roommate here, actually, Holden Garland, plays for Saskatchewan, and that's who we're playing game one. So I've already started being in his ear like every single day. So
You just got to start robbing his food and stuff like that from him, just knocking it out of his hand, just walk away with it.
I
Just
walk
tell him to
away.
get used to it.
I'll give him a shoulder. I was like, I'll see you soon. I know you're out. I know you're on my Cannons team, but December 4th will be coming around real soon.
Well, I want to ask you for yourself. Obviously, before we wrap up, I'm going to do a quick little rapid fire on questions. But for you, is there anything that Tyson Bell is engaged in, passionate about, that people should know about, and maybe look up and participate in themselves?
My family. It's a big part of my life. Support. My parents have been there from day one. From my days growing up in minor to getting called up playing senior B when I was 15 years old, going to Onondaga right here. Just the support I've had from my family has, kept me motivated, kept me in my groove, and I cannot thank them enough. Obviously have to shout out my girlfriend because I don't want to kind of get reamed out by her, but she's
happy wife, happy life, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No worries. Well, we'll do the little rapid fire here, and then we'll wrap up and get you on your way, obviously. So here we go. This is Tyson Bell. This is rapid fire. Quick answer, no thinking, just fire it out there. For you, favorite player in the NL?
Dane Smith.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Absolutely, yes.
Big hit or big goal?
Big goal.
Favorite team, favorite sport outside of lacrosse?
Synchronized swimming.
All right. Favorite player in synchronized swimming, or favorite swimmer, I guess?
Michael Phelps. No synchronized swimming he is, but what a beast.
I got to ask you, which NHL player do you think would best fare in the NLL?
John Tavares.
Oh, there you go. Favorite place to play in the LLL or the PLL? I'll put both out there.
PLL, Gillette Stadium out in Boston. NLL, the Nest. Come on.
I was waiting to hear that. All right, and here's the last one, obviously, for Tyson Bell this season. Championship or bust?
Championship.
There we go. All right, Tyson. Well, I want to thank you very much for jumping on today. Best of luck this season with the Thunderbirds. Look forward to talking to you when you're in town.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me again.
No problem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Offside Lacrosse, where lacrosse comes to talk. I think we're good.
Beauty.